guys, welcome back. So this is part 2 of how to navigate difficult clients as a freelancer. If you haven't seen part 1, please go and sit down first so that you can follow the gist, because I spilled a lot of things in that video. Now I'm even going to spill more in this video. Let's just get right into it already.
So the third type of client is the I will know it when I see it kind of client. They just have no clue about what they want. Have you ever experienced this? So let's say it's a design, for example, and they make the design. The client is like, I need it to pop. I need to have this vibe. They're not describing the vibe. I need to have this vibe. I think there's something missing. That's their favorite phrase. I think there is always some. It can never be complete. There is something missing. I will know it, and it's only them that can know it when they see it. I will know it when I see it. I think we can do other iterations. I'm sorry, even the final product, even the one you finally give them, might still not be it. But I mean, maybe you guys have done the back and forth for like over 5 times, and they're exhausted. So they're like, you know what? And at that point, they're already sleeping because what is it that you want? Can I just open your head and look inside? One thing I've come to realize about clients like this is that sometimes they actually really find it very difficult to articulate what they really want. And this is where you may have to be a bit more intentional as a freelancer and help them in that process. And if you can do that, they will actually appreciate you so much for it. They are not always bad clients, although we have the ones that really do not know. Like, you cannot help them. In fact, they don't want anything. They're just like, they just enjoy the thrill of you bringing multiple iterations. But there are some people that genuinely don't know, and it would be wise to help them as a freelancer and guide them towards what they really want. And you can do this by asking specific questions. So how do you deal with clients like this? I'll suggest you ask them specific questions. So we are not giving them vague questions. We are not giving them multiple options either, because it kind of further confuses them, because they feel like, should I go with this or this or this or this? And then they'll ask all their friends and family members. No, you don't want that. You have to keep it limited. Option A, option B. You can also ask them to send you like samples of what they would like. So you can tell them, okay, can you send me 2 examples of, for example, websites you like? Then we can build something that combines the good qualities of both, and then we can show you, and then we can proceed from there. So things like that helps the process. It also helps you as well. But the main goal here is to get really specific with the questions, to ask them questions. You say you want red. Is it bright red? Is it crimson red? Is it dark red? Like, you have to be very specific so that they are able to tell you what they want, and then from there you can work with them. Most of the times these clients are actually like good clients. It's just that they find it really hard to communicate what they really want. And in situations where you eventually help them to get to that end goal, you've gotten a client for life. Point blank, period. So when to first such a client, if they're always asking for multiple rounds of revisions, no clear feedback, you've done this like 5 times, but there's still something that is missing, trust me, you can't find it and they can't find it either. So everybody should part ways. Secondly, when they keep blaming you for their indecision. So most of the times they are not decisive people. So they are not really sure like what to go with. And they just keep blaming you for that. That's toxic. And we don't do toxic here. And in situations where the project drags on for too long, that's also another red flag. I may not want that to you may not want to cope with that, because that will eventually deter you from other clients you're working with. So you should also keep them in mind. But most of the time, they're actually reasonable clients. It's just that they don't know what they want. The fourth type of client is the endless revision client. I call them that because there is always a revision to be made. They can go 10 times and they're not tired. You will keep revising that project until you just get frustrated, really. And most of the time, I have come to realize like they are kind of similar to the third type of client I described earlier, and that's because sometimes they don't know what they want, and because of that you just keep doing endless revisions. Now for the ones that actually know what they want, they will use that as an avenue to do some kind of scope creep. So can we add this to the project? Can we include this? Can we do a bit of this? It's always small, but it's big. a bit of this, a quick that, and it just ends up being a full-blown big project. And that was not the initial conversation. For clients like this, it's just best to have your contract in your hand. So it's clearly stated, these are my deliverables. I shouldn't be adding this to the project. This will cost extra charges. That way you safeguard your time and your energy. Most of the time, these are not bad clients. They're actually good long-term clients. But if you're able to manage their relationship, then you should be able to get on really well with this client. So in situations like that, just tell them, okay, we have this number of revisions. Beyond that, we have extra charges. Then communication should again be very clear. This is what I want, and you should also be able to deliver what they actually want, so they don't have to do multiple revisions. So like that yin and yang just has to strike that balance, and everybody will be happy. Now, when to fire clients like this is if they refuse to make payments for additional revisions. So let's say you typically offer 4 to 5 revisions, and then they are demanding for the 7th revision, the 8th revision, the 6th revision. No, that's beyond what you offer, and beyond that, they have to like make extra or some kind of additional payments for that. And if they are pushing back on that, trust me, you may want to consider letting them go. Another instance would be if there's just this annoying scope creep. There's some people, they are recurring clients, but you see scope creep, they go hand in hand. So for situations like that, you may want to factor in that scope creep in the price you give them, so that at the end of the day, you don't feel like you were cheated, or you still feel good about the project. So you might want to factor that in. That's if they're long-term clients. But if it's not a long-term project, if it's not a long-term client, like, we are down to the fifth type of clients. I call these clients the bargain hunters. These are clients that always go below ground level. Like, they want the best on the tightest budget. They want champagne on water budget. Like, they can't go. I'm sorry, they can't go. Like, their expectations do not match their budget. What they need can never match their budget. And one thing I've come to realize with clients like this is that sometimes they do not really understand the value of the project. They do not understand the value of what is being given, or what that project really entails. And because of that, they feel like, why is it that amount? Why is it not cheaper? Or they feel like they should always get a bargain. That's not always a red flag. It can be a red flag, but it's not always a red flag. And in situations like this, here's how you can handle it. Here's how you can handle clients like that. In cases like that, you can actually tailor the project to suit their budget. So if their budget is really small, then we can have like a mini simple version of what the project should look like on that budget. So you can tell them, okay, since you can't afford this, here's what I can do for your budget. Do you get? So you don't just send them away. No, sometimes they turn out to be good clients. So again, learning how to manage them. Another thing you can consider doing is educating them on the value of like what you do and why it's that amount. Sometimes you just need a little bit of education, and then they are willing to stretch the budget. So if you can educate them, then you've got a client, and they might be good long-term clients. Another thing you also want to consider is you may want to give them different price points, like different options. Okay, we have something for 100K. We also have something for 50K. We also have something for 10K. We also have something for 5K. So somewhere in between, their budget should fit somewhere in between. And obviously, with every decrease is like a strip down of the initial project. So I mean, they should be comfortable with that. Now, cheap can become a huge problem when they start disrespecting your boundaries. So it can be even after negotiating and agreeing to terms, they're still trying to lowball you. They're still trying to negotiate after you've negotiated and signed the contract. Like, what's happening here? So in cases like that, you may want to let go of the client peacefully. In situations where they are not respectful of your boundaries, so even though you've set clear boundaries about, okay, your deliverables and expectations, and they're still trying to push it, you may want to let go of such a client. In situations where they are constantly lowballing you, like their price can never go up, it's always going down, it's always in the opposite direction, then you may want to consider saying your goodbyes. Now, here's something you should know as a freelancer. This again is my second golden rule. Difficult doesn't mean like you should just fire the person and call it quits. No, um sometimes these clients can prove to be difficult in the beginning, but over time they loosen up, everyone gets familiar, everyone gets relaxed, and you won't have to deal with these issues again. So in situations where that client is new to hiring, they might not understand the process, and it might be difficult in the beginning. So you just have to like wait it out, be patient with them, guide them through the process, and they'll get along at some point. I mean, you can never really know if a client is going to be difficult forever, but I mean, there's there's a place for benefit of doubt. So in a situation where the client is willing to work with you, the client is willing to respect your boundaries, the client is willing to listen to you and your side as a freelancer, then of course we want to consider working with this person. Else may want to close the door respectfully. So how to fire a client respectfully? I'm just going to list out some points quickly. If you want me to make a full video on that, you can let me know in the comments. But firing a client doesn't have to be like this brash act, this rash aggressive act. No, you don't want to burn bridges, because we don't do that here. What you can do is, if you're in the middle of a project, you can like try to wrap things up in a neat way that even if it requires a transition, it's easy for the next person to pick it up. So if you're in the middle of a project, you want to wrap that up as well. You also want to inform the client, like, oh, I won't be able to continue. You can give them like a reasonable time frame that is okay for you as well. Give them a reasonable time frame. Beyond this, I won't be able to continue. If it's possible, you can help them onboard a new freelancer. I mean, if it's possible, right? Most of my clients, I do not necessarily like leaving them high and dry. So I try to find like a replacement, at least if that's the last thing I do. But in situations where you cannot, please just respectfully end it and let the person know that you're going to wrap things up, so the next person can pick it up easily. So you're not going to be rude to anybody, you're going to be polite, and you're going to keep it clean. The truth is that every difficult client teaches you something. There's something in there to learn, and with that you'll be able to like grow from there and make your business better. So you can just look at this as a learning opportunity. So if you enjoyed this video, please give a thumbs up. It's almost 11 and I'm filming this video and I'm really tired, but I had to put this out there. I believe this should be part of the clip when I'm editing this. But yeah, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe, please share it with other freelancers that need to hear this. I wish someone had told me this, and I'm glad I'm able to share this with you as well, so we can grow quickly and we can grow together. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to shoot me an email, or you can fill out the form, and I'll be responding to other questions in the coming videos. Thank you, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.